I didn't open the door. I stood at the end of the hallway, staring at it, listening to my own breathing. The knock didn't repeat. That was worse. If it had kept knocking, I could have told myself it was mechanical, pipes, air pressure, something stuck and expanding. But silence meant choice. Whatever was inside the storage room had knocked once and decided to wait. I backed away slowly and locked myself in the bedroom. I pushed a chair under the handle, even though I knew it wouldn't help. The door was thin, cheap, decorative. I sat on the bed until morning. When the sun came up, the house looked normal again. Too normal. The storage room door stood open. I knew with absolute certainty that I had not opened it. The chair in my bedroom was still under the handle. Nothing was disturbed. No footprints, no scratches, no signs that anything had moved. I told myself I would leave that day, pack my things, call the landlord. But the longer I stood there, the harder it felt to act. It wasn't fear, it was hesitation, like something had wrapped around my thoughts and slowed them down. I went to class, I ate, I laughed at the wrong moments. All day the words from the message replayed in my head. You stopped listening. That night, I didn't wait for 2:17. I sat in the living room with all the lights on, staring down the hallway. 2:10, 2:11, every sound made my shoulders tense. The refrigerator humming, the tick of the wall clock. 2:16, the air felt thicker, like pressure before a storm. 2:17, nothing happened. I exhaled, a shaky breath I didn't realize I'd been holding. Then I heard it. Not a knock, a shift, a soft scrape from the storage room, like something adjusting its weight. I stood up. I shouldn't have. Every instinct told me not to move, not to acknowledge it, but curiosity pushed harder than fear. I took one step toward the hallway. The sound stopped. I froze. Another step. Still nothing. I reached the storage room door and placed my hand on the handle. It felt warmer than the rest of the house. That made no sense. I didn't open it. Instead, I spoke. "Who's there?" My voice sounded wrong in the quiet. Smaller. The silence stretched. Then, from the other side of the door, something answered, not with words, with another knock, closer to the handle this time, as if it had moved. I stepped back so fast I nearly fell. My phone vibrated in my pocket. Another message. "You're standing too far away." My hands shook as I stared at the screen. There was no camera in the hallway. No one could see me. Unless I turned slowly. The walls looked the same, but the house felt different now, aware. That night, I slept with the lights on. Nothing happened. No knocks, no sounds. The third day passed quietly. So did the fourth. I started to convince myself it was over. Stress, lack of sleep, my imagination filling gaps it didn't understand. On the fifth night, I woke up at 2:17 a.m. I hadn't set an alarm. The knock came immediately. Not from the wall, not from the door, from inside the room, behind me. I didn't turn around. I couldn't. My body refused to move. The knock came again, closer, then a third time, right beside my head. My phone vibrated. Another message. Rule 1, don't turn around. Tears filled my eyes as I stared at the wall in front of me. I squeezed my eyes shut. Seconds passed. Minutes. Eventually, I fell asleep from exhaustion. When I woke up, there were fingerprints on my pillow. They were not mine. I tried to leave again. I packed a bag. I opened the front door. The street outside was empty. No cars, no people, no sound. When I stepped on the porch, my phone vibrated. You can leave when you learn how to listen. I slammed the door shut. That night, the knock came earlier, 2:03 a.m. That's when I understood. It wasn't bound to the time was bound to me. I sat on the floor of my bedroom, knees pulled to my chest. The storage room door creaked open, slowly, deliberately. I didn't look. I remembered the rule. The sound of footsteps crossed the hallway, soft, careful. They stopped just outside my bedroom. I felt breathing, not on my face, in my head. A voice, thin and patient, spoke without sound. You hear us now. My phone buzzed one last time. Rule 2. When we knock, you answer. The bedroom door handle began to turn.